What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, we had a great day of fights yesterday, and the outcome of it was I think we've got unfortunately for pocketbooks of boxing fans, but fortunately for boxers and for people that somehow associate pay-per-view with meaning that a fighter is better than a fighter that's not fighting on pay-per-view. I think that you're going to get a great fight coming in December. And I would be surprised if this fight is not pay-per-view. Because this is a fight that is, in my opinion, is pay-per-view worthy. After sitting down and thinking about it, I was like, I'm going to make sure that I'm here for this fight when it happens. And that's Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. I think that this is going to be an absolutely great boxing match. And I did it after watching Mikey Garcia and sitting back and thinking about the styles of the fights and the fact that Errol Spence Jr. more than likely is really going to try to hurt Mikey Garcia. And as a result of him really trying to hurt Mikey Garcia, we'll probably get some entertaining rounds. I could see it going a lot like Kell Brook, Errol Spence Jr. And just over time, Errol Spence Jr. really wearing down on Mikey Garcia in over 12 rounds, really, really, really trying to hurt this guy. But while he's up and while he's boxing, it should be an entertaining fight. You could see Mikey Garcia landing some clean punches. I could see Mikey Garcia, winning a few rounds. Maybe in the early part of the fight. But hey, man, I think this fight is going to actually happen. Now, there was an interview that came out. Actually, it's an article that came out by Keith Idec and Boxing Scene, and it was entitled, I'm licking my chops to fight Mikey Garcia. Now, let me go through what Errol Spence Jr. says. And I'm thinking, before I do that, though, there was an interview that was done on Showtime after the fight with Brian Custer and that whole panel. And they said Mikey Garcia told them that after watching the Lamont Peterson fight, that he thought Errol Spence Jr. would be an easy fight. And Errol Spence Jr. was a look on his face like, I promise you it's not going to be easy. And I find that really interesting, man, because I think that you can look and see what you can do against somebody. But when you get in the ring, you might find that you can't really account for the guy's strength and for the power of his shots. Because he tore a mud hole through Lamont Peterson in that fight. And I would love to see a Lamont Peterson Mikey Garcia fight. But you could tell that he really insulted Errol Spence Jr. And there's all this talking about Errol Spence Jr. and fighting Errol Spence Jr. Really, man, Mikey Garcia better be a little bit, man, if that was Errol Spence Jr. in that ring last night and not Robert Easter Jr., Mikey Garcia can get hurt, man. Really, really, really hurt. But we'll see, because I think the fight will be good while it lasts. Now, this is what Errol Spence has to say. It's an easy fight to make. Showtime's on board. I mean, both of our management's on board. So, I mean, it's an easy fight to make. I'm definitely licking my chops. I'm excited. He looked like the same Mikey. He was a good technical fight that he fought. He shows his variety of punches. He showed his boxing ability. Well, I'm technically sound, so I mean, it'll be a challenge. He's technically sound. He's very smart in the ring, so it'll be a challenge. But I'm always confident in my abilities, and I know I'll come out with the victory. This would definitely help my fan base and help me grow as a superstar in the sport, says Spence. I think that's true. I really do think that's true. I would be surprised if this Mikey Garcia Robert Easter Jr. fight didn't do very well on Showtime, and by that I mean somewhere around 700,000. I would bet that this thing did around 700,000, maybe low 800,000s. If it does those type of numbers, man, especially if that was a really, really good show. And I was very excited to see it. I didn't hear a lot of press for it, but within the hardcore boxing fan community, it was an anticipated fight. That in a fight that, it was pretty easy to tell what was going to happen with Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter. But the same people that are saying throughout the boxing community are saying that this was an easy, it was easy to see what was going to happen with Mikey Garcia, Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter. Man, nobody's saying that about Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is going to outweigh Mikey Garcia by 14 pounds. 14 pounds. He's going to be about 3 inches taller. I don't know the reach off the top of my head, but I suspect that reach is like 3 inches longer. And Errol Spence Jr. is going to be fighting in the pocket, which Mikey Garcia showed a nice bit of ability to do against Robert Easter, but Robert Easter doesn't have the power to hurt Mikey Garcia. If Robert Easter had the power, had a jab that could hurt Mikey Garcia, that would have changed up everything. But he didn't. He could never hurt him. He could never dissuade him. And so Mikey Garcia just kept moving forward, kept bringing it to him. I think that's definitely going to be a different case with Errol Spence Jr. But hey, man, we will see. We will see. I'll say this though, as far as like that pay-per-view, man, I think that this has a good chance of being worth that. Because you have the number one welterweight in the world and the guy that's being said to be one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Mikey Garcia, against, and Errol Spence. That'll be a fight that if it gets made, man, people are going to be talking about all the way up to it. And one that I would be, man, I'm extremely excited to see it. Now, I like Errol Spence Jr. in the fight, but I won't say that I don't see how Mikey could there's ways that Mikey could cause Errol Spence some problems. If they were both the same size, if they were both in the same, if there wasn't the strength and the vicious, tenacious nature of Errol Spence there, I would say, okay, man, this is going to be a really, really good fight. But even if they were the same size, I would say the same thing. That is going to be a very hard deal for Mikey Garcia, because Mikey Garcia just doesn't have a lot of foot speed. And that's not Robert Easter. Even if Robert Easter could fight and have the same relative strength and style and you scale down Errol Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. would still be a lot of problems for Mikey Garcia. But to amp it up, oh, man. But, we will see. We will see. So, I'm still tripping on Mikey Garcia saying that he looked at the fight and said, oh, that'd be an easy fight. That tells you something about Mikey too. Mikey likes them easy fights. Mikey likes to see somebody, oh, okay, I see a spot. I see something I might be able to do. All right, let's take the fight now. Because I don't know what vulnerability he thinks he saw in Errol Spence. Probably the same that Terrence Crawford, a lot of Terrence Crawford's supporters say. He comes in straight behind, a jab. You can hit him, and because he's been hit. I don't really see Lamont Peterson land on anything too clean on him. I definitely, when you looked at the few minutes of was it Centino? Was that the guy's last name that he fought? I think that was I think it was Centino. Whoever the guy was that Errol Spence Jr. just knocked out in the first round with a body shot. Whatever that case is, whoever that guy is, he looked like he landed a few punches, and was doing pretty well but here's the thing, also the last thing. Mikey Garcia keeps going 12 rounds. If Mikey Garcia has to go 12 rounds with Errol Spence, if Errol Spence is able to cut up, because Errol Spence is one of the best guys at cutting off the ring. Errol Spence is at southpaw. If this goes 12 rounds, hey man, win, lose, or draw, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't see it. Because it has to go 12 rounds. He just went 12 rounds with Robert Easter Jr. He went 12 rounds with Sergey Lipinets. He went 12 rounds with Adrian Bronner. So 12 rounds with Errol Spence Jr.? I'm not even sure when's the last time Errol Spence Jr. went 12 rounds. And then you see like Kell Brook in which was a good fight. The Kell Brook fight, I think that was 7 or 9 rounds, somewhere around there. Kell Brook looked like he was winning some rounds. doing his thing. And that was a big guy. That was a guy who was bigger than Errol Spence Jr. physically, like musculature and strength was bigger than Errol Spence Jr. And then it's just the world came crumbling down with him over time because those body shots are for real. And that power is for real. And he looks like he's getting even stronger. So anyway, man, it's gonna be interesting. If it is pay-per-view, I'd be very, very willing to watch it. I'd be willing to pay for it. And this would be a case where I would say, hey, man, I would support my guy. I would support this. And that's Errol Spence, man, because personally, I think Mikey Garcia needs to stay down there at 135 pounds and take care of business and unify that division. That's what I would like to see out of Mikey Garcia. Do that. At least call for the Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Do that. Because you go up there and get beat up and hurt by Errol Spence Jr., which is a high likelihood. I mean, it's a high likelihood that that's going to happen to right. Because Mikey Garcia is a little guy. I mean, he's a little guy. He gets short. He's short. He's got very, very good timing. His hand speed's not the best in the world. And I just do not see this dude having enough power to get the respect of a cat that could probably be beating the 154-pound champions. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. And with that, I'm out. Peace.